All right, the dust has settled. A lot of emotion. Final score in this one was TCU 51, Michigan 45 in the college football playoff semifinal in the Fiesta Bowl. And I tweeted it out. This was the movie of the year. Like, nobody deserved to lose this game. Unfortunately for the good folks in Ann Arbor, the Wolverines come up short in this one. And it stings for a variety of reasons, but I think the first thing you're talking about tomorrow when you're breaking down the tape and you're looking at this box score, Michigan in so many areas is going to feel tomorrow like they beat themselves. Like, TCU scored 51 points. I don't want to take anything away from Sonny Dykes and that football program because they are a program. They are extremely talented, and they are going to give a very good fight in the national championship game. With that being said, you spotted them 2 touchdowns on interceptions, which is unfortunate because that happened in the most critical scenario, and there's a lot of things that go into it. But when you look at it at the end of the day, that was something that could have been avoided. Then you go back to the fumble on the goal line. That should have been another 7 points in your favor. So there's a 21-point swing in the opposite direction to where you have to climb out of a hole there. And TCU is an explosive offense, and we knew going into it, it would be very important. If TCU wanted to have a chance to win the football game, they would have to be up by a substantial margin at halftime. What do you know? It's 21-6 going into the break. And even with that being said, it still felt like that second half surge from Michigan was eventually going to break. And it got there. I mean, that second half surge, I still firmly believe Michigan, one of the best, if not the best, second half team in the entire country. Unfortunately today, though, enough was done on Michigan's side that was a self-inflicted wound to keep you from winning the football game. Again, don't want to take anything away from TCU, but you're looking in the mirror. If you're Michigan, you're saying, on the biggest stage, we did not bring our best. And if we were to run it back and some of those things break a different way and we execute a little bit better, maybe it's a different story. Again, nobody deserved to lose that game. If you haven't yet subscribed, now's the time. Would love to have y'all here. Also, follow me on Twitter and Instagram at JD Piquel. A lot of interaction there. We incorporate that into this program for you. When you look at the tape again for Michigan, I think you're just going to feel like you took too many haymakers. And what I mean by that is I like to compare football games to boxing matches. And you can get by taking a body shot here and a jab there, and you can, sort of trade blows as long as you're not taking the big knockout punches. And I don't know if knockout punch is even the right word, but there was definitely some punches thrown by TCU that just continued to land at critical times. Like, that third quarter was absolutely nuts. Like that was bonkers. How many explosive plays on both sides that these teams traded. That was kind of the thing. When you went down early, if you're Michigan, at that point, you have to be the one throwing all the haymakers and being able to square up a little bit more and dodge some of those ones that TCU's throwing your way. But it was explosive run from TCU. It was Quentin Johnston going the length of the field, it felt like, on that check down where he had a drag route and just took it to the house. Like, the haymakers just continued to connect for TCU. And TCU, to their credit, had a phenomenal game plan in place. Are they a more talented offensive team than Ohio State? I don't know if I buy into that, but it was their day. They executed to an elite level and were able to land those punches. And I think that ended up being the difference in the game, especially defensively. Like, offense really got it together in the second half, but the defense in the second half just didn't have the juice, it felt like, to climb out of that hole and to hold it down enough to get to where you want it to be at the end of the day. So that's why you feel a little bit sick on top of the self-inflicted wounds that you felt in that first half for the Michigan offense. So the dust is going to settle on this one a little bit more. We're going to get into winter conditioning and spring football and fall camp. Here's what I think we see going forward for Michigan. There's nothing really to hang your head about. The ultimate goal was not accomplished, and that stings, and it should sting. I think it'll serve Michigan well in the long run because now they've been to the college football playoff twice in 2 consecutive years with different quarterbacks, different coordinators, different personnel. They are a program. They are a team that is solidified in the top tier of college football. So it's extremely painful to not get the result you wanted, but I don't think it's something where you look in the mirror and say, wow, we're a failure of a program. Just because you failed to meet the ultimate goal does not make the program a failure, okay? I said this already. but Michigan being an elite tier football team. That's something we weren't saying 4 or 5 years ago. We were talking about if Jim Harbaugh was even going to be there long term. And now he's done it, built a program that is into the top echelon of college football, and they're consistently there now. And Jim Harbaugh has done it his way, done it the Harbaugh way. So, going forward, the expectations don't change. There's no letdown here for Michigan, internally or externally, of what we think this program is capable of or what they're going to be going forward. We fully expect Michigan to push to be in the college football playoff and get beyond that and get to the national title game this time next year. So it hurts, it stings, but I'll tell you what, growing pains equate to growth. And I think you look at this one and it's going to hurt, like I said, but long term, it may be something that ends up being a building block for the future of this program. But like I said, nothing to hang your head about if you're Michigan. It's going to sting. It's going to sting for a while because you feel like you beat yourself and those haymakers just continue to land in the second half. But Michigan, I have a very, very strong inkling will be back in the not too distant future to this kind of game. This has been The Hard Count. We appreciate you rocking with us. This is Nick Brake lifting heavy. Yours truly, JD Pickell. Find me on Instagram and Twitter at JD Pickell. Do a light interaction there. Thank you so much for watching. We're going to keep the party rolling. We will see y'all next time. Hey y'all, thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel here to make sure you don't miss an episode of The Hard Count. Also be sure to check out other videos on the On3 YouTube channel.